运动线气上万千，现场的观众朋友们，欢迎来到2025年第12届世界运动会的比赛现场。现在全场观众，让我听到你们的尖叫声！即将进行的比赛是由加拿大队对阵美国队的金牌争夺战。我希望全场的观众可以用你们最大的热情为我们双方运动员加油！我喊1、2，大家一起喊加油！1、2，1、2，1、2。现在让我们把掌声送给我们全场观众自己。我喊成都，大家喊雄起。3、2、1，成都！成都！成都！然后在中场环节，我们还会有非常有意思的全场互动，希望你一定可以参与进来。让我再一次听到你们的尖叫声！精彩比赛即将开始，我们一起倒数：10、9、8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1。女士们、先生们，接下来为您介绍本场比赛裁判员。掌声有请双方运动员入场。
Welcome back to the Chengdu Sports University here in Chengdu, China. The final day of mixed teams ultimate. It's the gold medal match between the defending champions, the USA and Canada, at the World Games 2025 here in Chengdu. It's an all North American final. Both teams entering the fray undefeated in qualifying. And if you're just joining us for the first time today, the all-European bronze medal match was taken out by France, beating Germany 13-10. So it's all down to this, the final. Defending champs USA up against Canada. Joining me in commentary, Robin Fennig. And Robin, what a night of nights if you're an ultimate fan.
Yeah, and honestly, Brendan, we have not seen Canada in a gold medal match for 24 years. When the last time they played the United States in the gold medal match, they took home the gold medal in Japan. Since then, it's been nothing better than bronze, with 3 bronze medals to their names since 2001, when Ultimate Frisbee was first welcomed to the World Games program. And in 2022, Canada was stunned by Germany and never really recovered, only beating Great Britain once in pool play, once in the 7th and 8th place game. And they've since reloaded their roster, reloaded their coaching staff, and they have looked absolutely dynamite this campaign.
Absolutely brilliant. The Canadian team being introduced to a very boisterous crowd here. And Dos Santos being honoured by the Canadian team, who once again have got the emblematic 70 on their bodies. They're marked up with a 70.
Yes, and Brittany Dos Santos was such a high-impact player for this just super efficient Canadian offense. However, the women matching players of Team Canada have all stepped up incrementally to fill the role that she played, rather than one of them completely taking that pressure and responsibility on. Their women matching players have spread out those additional 12 touches per game equally, And, you know, with Sarah Jacobson taking on a little bit higher of a receiving responsibility, but covering the DeSantos contribution across the board.
Let's have a look then at Team USA, full of talent, of course. Cammy Bloom being introduced to the crowd. Grant Lindsley there as well. Captain Finney. Ralphie Hayes alongside her. And this team, Robin, full of talent. An amazing defensive outfit.
And that's really been the situation since 2005. The United States has not lost to Canada at the World Games for 20 years. They've gone undefeated and in control of most of the matchups pretty easily. Again, really led by that defensive energy and intensity. You know, unlike some of the other countries where the World Games commitment is a several-year buildup for some of these national teams. In the USA, the team comes together for 3 to 4 training weekends. In this case, the United States went across the pond, played at London Invite, took home the gold medal, and have largely won all of their matches, you know, looking in control of the matchups, but have shown some cracks in their armor. Not quite as efficient as Canada has been this weekend, or this entire week, and so we'll have to see what happens when these two Titans clash today.
And there it is. That's what they're playing for. The all-important world disc and the medals arrayed around it. The weather forecast is of note. A couple of sports here in Chengdu today have been affected by the weather. Update for us is that it's currently 30 degrees. Humidity is 70%, and there's a little bit of a swirling breeze here, Robin, that's gone around into the north. We can see blue skies above. We're sitting pretty.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how these conditions that are kind of looming, you know, just beyond the horizon from the stadium, how that impacts the #1 offense with Team Canada against the #1 defense with Team USA. Typically, I think when the weather gets swirly and wet and the game gets sloppy, those types of games tend to favor defensive-oriented teams, but Team Canada has shown no cracks in their armor up until this point.
Look at the record, the impeccable record of the Canadians in here. Straight the way through, a clean qualifying for them. And likewise this US team as well. The big name stars, some outstanding performers amongst them, and this American defensive team is absolutely massive.
Well, and it's interesting because the Americans are starting the game on offense and Canada on defense, not necessarily their greatest strengths respectively, but again, the Canadian defense has not been bad. They've been incredibly efficient, and in fact, in their semi-final game, converted on 3 of 5 break chances. They caused 2 block turnovers. They intercepted the disc twice. And so, you know, they've had a very clean, crisp attack, not just with their offensive line, but also in transition on D.
Well, this man will get them started. And they're away. The gold medal match here at the World Games 2025 in Chengdu starts. And already the disc flies wide. Might be slightly contrived start by the Canadians.
Well, and I don't hate the decision maybe to pull out of bounds. I think the American offense looked a little shaky when they have to start from a dead disc. So they're walking up into a split stack. We'll see how this attack looks for the Americans.
Claire Trope with disc in hand, looking for some options inside, finds them. Raffi Haynes gets on the disc very early here, wants to settle things down, goes back there. Christensen always involved. On the inside, there's some options as well. Anna Thompson is there, accepts the disc. Down here to Grant Lindsley, and already a stoppage. Just listening in. Self-regulated game, this one, Robin.
Yeah, and there was a pick off disc. For those of you who aren't familiar, you cannot intentionally obstruct your matchup from playing defense. Grant Lindsley having to go back to where that obstruction occurred.
Oh, great interference there by Canada. Absolutely brilliant.
Last night, I was telling Charlie that Flo Dion was going to have a monster defensive performance, and she starts it off with a layout block.
And she does. So Dion there with the intercept. Here comes Canada. Shatter looking for options. Inside. Goes to Bryson. Out wide now. Canada setting something up here. They have control. Wedge. Bryson again. Floats it across to him. Here's Chatter just around the corner. But beautiful interference by this American team. Hayes there just knocking out of the Canadian grasp.
And again, we're seeing why the Americans are the #1 defense at this tournament. Rafi Hayes, excellent read.
So here it comes. The target is Brownlee up the front. And the big American just denied.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering whether the tall Canadian's going to have an impact here, Rob.
Absolutely. The size and athleticism of the man-matching players on Team Canada, no matter where the disc, if it's hanging, they're going to get bodies underneath it. Great block by Mark Lloyd.
Charter then goes around the corner. Bryson getting involved early. Looking for options. They've got to march it all the way down this field.
Again,
USD.
Another pick off disc there on a Thompson, getting obstructed by Gagan Chatha from Team Canada.
So Bryson then, disc in hand. Brownlee. Chatter. Looking for some more options and another halt here. Gallant with the disc at the moment.
Well, it's interesting because Claire Trope went to go help on defense with Gallant, and there's some discussion that, you know, Molly Wedge said you were not obstructed and you made the choice to play defense and help your man-matching teammate.
Leslie right in his face, giving him no room at all, and that is a disappointment for the Canadians. So this impressive American team presses forward, Robin.
We haven't seen very many reset turnovers from Team Canada from either line.
And there it is then. Chasen drags it down, and that was a pretty simple piece of work by Team USA. They're away.
An emphatic spike by Claire Chastain. I think all week I've mentioned about the importance of avoiding these short field turnovers. You don't want to give the disc back right on your opponent's end zone line. And so the U.S. able to complete the hold. In the U.S. we might call that a dirty hold. It was not clean. They did not score in their first possession. And in fact, it took them 3 possessions to do so.
But nevertheless, they got it together. So USA come away. They lead 1-0 here. It's an important psychological blow by this defending champion team. They'll offer the disc back. Here comes the Canadian team getting ready for their offensive foray. Canada trying to mount something here. Edmonds with the disc, looking at long options, going around the corner. Kurahashi. Another stoppage.
There's an off-disc pick call again. You know, Anushka Beaudry running Dawn Colton through the stack, but that did not impact that pass to Mika Kurahashi, and the disc will stay with her to bring it back in.
Moves up front if they want it. Back they come. Canada. Oj Semar around the corner, setting things up here, looking for some options. Going cross. Canada, Jacobson. Long, down the wing, Beaudry. Options, inside. Edmonds. Round they come. Kimura. To Snyder. Canadians just beginning to move up into the end zone, looking for options as they go. Beaudry again, that's nice. Canada reply. No problems whatsoever for them. Kimura in position.
Those of you listening on the stream got to hear Brendan get in a nice rhythm. I really enjoyed listening to the call, Brendan, because you could just tell that the Canadian offense was being so methodical, so like in rhythm, in sync, all working together. Brendan never had to rush to say a name. That was exactly the tempo and just the pace of the offense. Every single cut was in isolation. There was plenty of space, and Kimura just taking advantage of the poach by Finney. What makes Anushka Beaudry such a dangerous thrower is how quickly she's able to pivot and deliver a precisely thrown disc on a platter. I've had to play against her so many times, and it's so frustrating to try to slow her down.
But, you know, they did it against a great defensive team as well, did they not? I mean, they were so methodical then.
Absolutely, Brendan.
Here they go. Let's see what the American offense can do here now. Brownlee gets underneath it. Here they come. Team USA, one apiece, gold medal action. All over the shot. Lots of nice options up front. Thompson, intercept. Canada coming away. Chatha now, got a big arm on him. Doesn't want to go there. Back again. Canada seeking options. Up the front. Jacobson, not the target. It was Bryson, intercepted, and who other than Claire Trope gets in the way.
We got to see two nice defensive poach blocks by women matching players in the deep space. Both man matching throwers not seeing the poach help defender. Claire Trope gets up and able to just disrupt that offensive flow. Otherwise, I liked the shot. Just need to see that Claire Trope is lurking in the background.
So USAO got control again. Hayes. Shatler trying to wear him at the moment. Down the line they come. This is Groom. Puts it down. Canada again, just prizing the door open here. A glint of light for Canada.
You can see every player has to run so hard to attack the disc, and it's hard in humid conditions to get your hands securely on a disc when you are running full speed like that with someone breathing down your neck.
Shatler trying to get it inside to Bryson, and does. Bryson good enough just to snare it. This is good, opening up some options. Here comes Canada. And that's awesome. Dion is over. Canada have done it. Again, a nice sequence, Robin.
I love this Mika Kurahashi against Cami Groom matchup. Just the athleticism, the explosion and change in direction. And they are both so aggressive when they attack the disc. Cami over pursuing just a little bit, and she lets Mika get a chance here. She gets that, makes that catch under such tight pressure, and then she's able to just pivot. She's not contending that break side. Dion making a well-timed, well-spaced cut on the break side. You can see every cut is in such isolation. There's no opportunities for Team USA to help each other.
It's 2-1 Canada. And they go long again. Team USA offense. Back they come. Finney, the captain. Inside. Rafi Hayes looking down the line. This is Rafi Hayes. Around the corner. Free child. And long. This is big. And it's Team USA through Henry Ing.
What a defensive effort there to try to make that catch so difficult. You know, I was talking about what would Team Canada's defensive line do to try to contain Henry Ing when he plays offense. You know, unlike his brother, he has been deployed on both sides of the disc. You see Finney just challenging Molly Wedge, who's trying to limit and take away that break side backhand huck. And I do think that Ojay Samar got a hand on the disc, and Henry Ing able to keep his concentration to secure the grab. Great footwork too.
Fantastic footwork. Great presence of mind, but that's what you expect from this US team. High caliber ultimate, absolutely supreme stuff here. It's gold medal action. It's the World Games 2025 in Chengdu. It's our last ultimate match here at this fantastic stadium. Team USA cranking it up here. Brownlee with the disc. Chastain by his side. Here they come. Defense getting set. This legendary US defensive team against this very bright Canadian attack. Kumura setting things up. Options inside for the Canadians. Again, great interference here. Here comes Team USA. Fantastic by by them. So the turnover now. Lindsley, Kosher, round the corner. Chastain inside, Lindsley again, falls inside. There's a slight drizzle coming down at the moment. Looking good, all sorts of options. Chastain is there, just got to dink it over, surely. 5 Americans in the end zone at the moment. Chastain looking left, looking right, goes back to Lindsley. Going wide, trying to open up the Canadians on the far side of the stadium. Lindsley looking to go overhead, won't do it. Hammer on, maybe not. Brownlee lurking. Another interception, another disruption. Lindsley, and there it is. Thank you very much indeed. So the Ying's getting in the action very early here.
Yeah, and I assume we're going to see a lot of Michael Ng. He is such a defensive just leader for this team. You know, Team Canada has not been challenged downfield the way that the Ng brothers can contain them. The thing is, like, I cannot explain the idea that, like, Snyder has not been pressured on a pass like that all tournament. He, like, a third of his touches have resulted in a score for Team Canada, so he has been both sure-handed and open for easy options for Thomas Edmonds. That's just Edmonds' second turn on the entire tournament. Across, you know, going into this game, he had over 100 touches. And so the measure that, like, the margins on throws in this game are so slim.
3-2 USA, 3-2 USA. Here they come. Here come the Canadians then, trying to get some parity back in the score line. Gallant on the far side. Edmonds offering some options, coming across field. Jacobson inside. Beaudry. Jacobson is a solution for the moment. Beaudry making room up the middle. Going to go there. They did, but interference. Beaudry claims.
It appears that Don Colton was able to get in front of Beaudry, but from that camera angle, it's really difficult to see the amount of physicality or if there was too much contact that interfered with Beaudry's ability. Like if the contact came from the body versus just, you know, after the play was made with just maybe her hands or arms.
Both of you have expressed your opinion.
I'd like to go to you.
You were behind. Fun.
You can see that Don Colton does initiate some contact with Beaudry's left shoulder.
And
Colton disagreed with the call and sends it back to Jacobson.
so saying 5?
So Jacobson then again, after the intervention of the supervisor, has control. They're going long, but this looks very ambitious to me. And with Mr. Ng back there.
So Dylan Freechild poached off of Thomas Edmonds to try to contain or challenge the throw from Jacobson. As soon as Edmonds goes deep, Ng releases from his matchup to assist. And again, the American defense, they're known for looking for those switch opportunities to set their strong defensive players up for wins.
Oh, there's an incredible intercept.
And a Callahan for Thomas Edmonds.
And tell us the significance about that, Robin, because they're so rare in this game.
Yeah, when the defender intercepts the disc, making a catch in the end zone, their attacking end zone, it results in a goal. And you can see Dylan Freechild pops it up over Finney. Edmonds able to see that disc, the trajectory popping up early, leaving his matchup and making the play safely, kind of boxing Finney out so she can't make a play. And Edmonds not able to catch the huck from Jacobson, but that is a heads-up defensive play.
3 apiece then. Canada not going away. The defending champs got something to think about. About 17 minutes have elapsed here. And Canada, they're up for a fight.
This game has been an absolute slugfest. Each team punching hard, the other team responding. Even though not much time has elapsed, this game is so intense. You can feel it.
Dion then with the disc gets us underway. USA, going to come and have a crack at the Canadian defense. Here come the USA. Brownlee under the disc, sends it forward. Anna Thompson here will need some help in a moment. Moves it out. Chastain, Thompson. Chastain again. Down the line, Brownlee is there. 6'2", 188 centimeters. Inside to Groom. Looking good here, USA. Kosher has it. Hayes in control at the moment. Options up front. 6'2", Brownlee on the end of that. 188 centimeters does the job.
You know, thus far in the tournament, we've seen Marquez Brownlee behind the disc. I think a lot of that has to do with his strength as a defender to limit, you know, that transition offensive attack. I was interested to see how often this Canadian defense was going to employ this zone set, because I think this is actually where the Americans have been strongest all week, is in zone offense. They're able to pick apart opposing zones. And I love to see Marquez stretching the field. He's such a good receiver because his range, it's not just because he's tall and athletic, he's so smart and he goes to spaces that are easy to attack, places that only he can go and get the disc in.
Here we go, US! Break here at the moment, it's USA 4, Canada 3, yeah, Brownlee. And he was in a lot of space out the back there.
Yeah, and again, I do credit the Americans in having such a dynamic team. To have somebody like Marquez Brownlee in the backfield, being able to push him downfield gives a brand new offensive attack that they haven't shown yet this week. And again, I think his ability to stretch the field, you have to respect him in the deep space, opens up a lot of space near the thrower for other teammates to attack and create dangerous throwing opportunities.
The weather circumstances here at the moment is 30 degrees as we play here this afternoon, so they've gone to a level 1 break, which is 3 minutes. Humidity is rising a little bit here as well this afternoon, going up to around about the 70% mark. And so they take a little bit of a break. Just quickly, what do you think, Robin? Team USA traveling, they're up at the moment, they're 4-3 lead. Canada hanging in there.
We've gotten to see each team get a break. You know, the defense is we knew the defensive pressure and effort was going to be high from both sides. Both teams have really great coaching staff who have been able to get their teams to execute defensive game plans at a high degree, better than any other team at this tournament. You know, Canada's offense is showing its first signs of struggle. You know, we've seen, I think a lot of those struggles have come mostly on man-matching points when Canada has opted to have two bigger man-matching cutters in the mix in Ojay Sama and Quinn Snyder. And I love the way that Marty Gallant opens up the field. He relieves so much pressure for kind of the bigger players on the offensive line to kind of lean into their superpowers. It takes some pressure off of Thomas Edmonds to be the only distributor. He's a creative thrower, and he's had so few throwing errors for the number of touches and his high usage rate. Yes,
I was just wondering, it was a point I wanted to raise as well. Ojay Samar, of course, comes in at 6'2", 188, and also Snyder as well, 6'3" at 190. That's some advantage for the Canadians. Are they going to utilize it?
You know, the thing is about the American defense, we're going to see not one, but, you know, two ings on the defensive end as often as possible to limit their production downfield. Because they have such strong man-matching handler defenders like Dylan Freechild, who can really pester Thomas Edmonds and make those resets tough, it allows the big defensive men in Henry Ing and Michael Ing to take those matchups and limit the big yards that those receivers on Canada have been able to get.
There's Samar, and looks like Jacobson could be in a little bit of strife here. She's come heavy on that right ankle of hers. She grabbed at it, and she's just looking a little unsure. And you talk about the Yings being the factor in defense, and there's a prime example of what you just said, Robin.
And I'm not sure why Sarah Jacobson opted to stay on the field. You could tell that they had rolled their ankle pretty hard on that catch. They could have taken an injury and allowed a teammate to come on so that they could kind of refresh mentally and come on the next point.
Down the line come Team USA, and once again it's a big lunge, and that is just so easy. If they keep opening up the defensive team like that, the Canadians, and you've got Michael Ling running around in the end zone, you are going to be in a heap of trouble.
Yeah, it feels like these Canadian man-matching players, because they've only been broken 3 times going into this game, they have not had to play a lot of transition defense, and immediately Michael Ing was able to push the deep space, set up a lot of space for Kayla Helton to throw to. She's able to just put it up high enough in the air so Ojai Sama cannot make a play on the disc.
So Team USA now out to 5-3 over Canada. 50 minutes if needed are left in this gold medal match here, the World Games 2025 in Chengdu, our final mixed team ultimate showdown. Brownlee already a goal to his name. 6'2", 188 centimeters, launches it long, launches it hard, and here come Team USA. They're full of running at the moment. Canadian D got to take stock here and hold this off big time. Canadian coming down, Beaudry in charge at the moment of the disc, but a little bit of a halter play further down.
It appears that there is another pick. You can see that Ojai Sama was trying to come under and Michael Ing was obstructed.
Got a feeling they're going to try and get Samar loose here. Coming cross. Samar is really circulating heavily down the bottom end of the field near the end zone. Beaudry looking for options down there, can't find them at the moment. Going across is Kurahashi. Chata down the top end as well, looking for some options as Samar goes around the corner. Another hold up.
Foul called? Foul called by... Who called the foul? Okay.
Beaudry against Trope. What a clash that is here, Robin.
And it's a matchup that's happened so many times on the world stage. These two
You're accepting the foul?
competed so
Okay.
much internationally
So still
to represent their
stays where it
countries,
was.
from the junior level
Coming
all
in
the
on
way
5.
up
Thank
to
you.
the highest level at the World Games.
Canada trying to push forward here, try and get some advantage out of this. They're down 2 goals at the moment. And I tell you what, this American D is all over them. As Ojai Sama hops it off. Looking around the corner, Edmonds just nice, got a bit of space here now. Ojai Sama, and that's great. That is really great by Shatta. He's really been a revelation this event.
Yeah, the whole sequence was set up by Mika Kurahashi being willing to hit Thomas Edmonds in a small space. I think the thing that separates the teams in the finals from the teams in the semis was their ability to get the disc to their resets in small windows. And you can see how quickly that was rewarded with quick movement. Chatha, excellent footwork. He was able to just reach past a diving Chris Kocher and just see how he's able to get his back foot in the end zone as his first point of contact. That is so difficult. What a play by Chatha. That is a big-time goal for Canada.
Absolutely. Could be one of those pivotal moments that you look back on in a major gold medal match like this. It's that commitment by players. This is gold medal stuff. This is absolutely golden ultimate. Ultimate, of course, pushing for IOC recognition. And it's levels of competition like this that I'm sure make the argument even greater when they go to Geneva and argue the case and over to Switzerland. So Team USA coming down the line, looking for some options. Rafi Hayes. Freechild is there. Holds up things temporarily. Comes down to Groom. Groom trying to link up. Goes to Freechild. Canada swarming at the moment, trying to keep this US team out of that end zone. But I tell you what, there's a move. Those ings are circulating. Hayes has seen it as well. I reckon he's going to release Ing any moment. There it goes. It's not Ing, in fact. That was a decoy. It was this man, Freechild, who takes the gold.
I really like that Team USA gets to lean into the club teammate connection, because Rafi Hayes, Dylan Freechild, and Henry Ing all play for the same US club team in Portland Rhino. Rafi Hayes just knows exactly the space that both of his teammates are looking to go and attack as soon as he catches it. You can see that Dylan offers kind of a shallower angle and Henry a deeper one, so that Rafi was able to hit something fast and in tempo, and as he was throwing could make the adjustment to which space he wanted to throw.
It was fantastic. Ing was running decoy out there, wasn't he? It was amazing. Had Mark Lloyd, the Canadian captain.
You know, if you would have told me that Mark Lloyd would have taken the Ing matchup when they were lining up, we've only seen, I mean, for the most part, as far as I've been tracking, you know, Mark Lloyd's only been guarding handlers or kind of in cutters, not the big, deep cutter.
Okay, they're down. They're trailing by 2, Canada. Everything now is pretty important. Oj Semar across. Mike Edmonds trying to get them moving. Oj Semar is there in support. A little pop over the top. That's safe. Here comes Canada through Kimura. Looking down. Jacobson is free if they want to go there. She's been very effective in that red zone all week. Not at the moment, however, will they go there. Kimura again, in control. Big offers, not going there. Out they come. Jacobson again, as she has all week. Nice, steadying. Here comes Canada, looking for options. Once again, they're just setting up here, taking their time. They're not rushing. They don't want to make mistakes. Canada need this goal. All sorts of options. This is nice. A big lunge. A great collect by the Canadians. That's Snyder. He's been doing it all week. Pops it over the top. Pressing there by Groom. Canada, Kimura down the line. Thank you, Canada. Patient as. Not to be denied. And Snyder eventually on the end of it.
Lauren Kimura is the ideal handler for a team like Canada's offensive attack. She is so poised, and this is honestly, like, Lauren Kimura with her flick grip is so lethal. This is a very vintage Toronto Sixers look. I remember the year that Sixers made the National Club Championship Finals. The number of teams that continued to let her just pick them apart with forehands. It didn't matter if it was in a deep space, underneath, breaking marks. She was so good that season, and to see her being able to just quarterback an offense when Thomas Edmonds is being thrown off of his rhythm, it's just chef kiss perfect.
Big crowd, enthusiastic crowd as well, and they know as we do that with USA 6, Canada 5, next point is pretty crucial because we'll be going to a break, and USA would like to close this one out as they bring it upfield now. Hayes looking for some options on the inside. Coulton, and it's a fumble. Freechild puts it down. So here comes Canada with an opportunity late in the stanza here in this first half. A turnover to them. Can they capitalize? Going very wide. There's a lot of attention, and they bring it down. And that is absolutely brilliant by Kurahashi. Wow, and she had some pressure as well, Robin.
You know, Mika Kurahashi is known for making big grabs in big moments. She led her team to a university national championship this year with the University of British Columbia, the number of posterizing grabs like this we have gotten to see in the college division of Ultimate Frisbee, I can't count them. And she does this, and she's been doing this since she was a junior. She's been competing in mixed club with Red Flag and now takes her talents to Seattle BFG. And they immediately become a title contender because of how deadly she is in the air. You cannot give her space because she will find the best spot on the field to high point a disc, and it doesn't matter who her matchup is.
Well, it was Finney in that case, the US captain or co-captain, and you could see the reaction as well of Mark Lloyd, the Canadian captain in the background. He was ecstatic with that. Okay, here comes Team USA, still with a chance to close it out here on the half. They're coming down here. Trope steadies things at the moment. Looking for a little bit of a 1-2 action here, not going to go there. Rafi Hayes going long. This is very good. Oh, thank you so much indeed. If in doubt, give it to Trope.
And the United States came out with an isolation pull play to get Claire Trope the disc on the near sideline. And there was kind of some blown defensive coverage on the pass to her. As soon as she was able to throw the under to Rafi Hayes, she starts pushing up the sideline. You see Flo Dion kind of gets her hips turned around, and Claire Trope is able to use that isolation. Excellent patience by the United States offense to leave that space open for Trope. Just, you could see there was really good communication on the field there, off camera. Trope was isolated in space, and there are fewer players that you want to run a pull play like that for than Claire Trope.
But may I ask, Robin, I mean, Trope open on the flank like that. Where was the Canadian D?
So the United States ran what's called a pull play in a vertical stack. All of the players standing in front of Claire Trope pushed to the far side. So Canada was actually forcing forehand, so forcing to the far sideline. And so all of the defenders were kind of oriented on that side. Marty Gallant was kind of all by himself looking to help clog up the break side. As the United States pushed to that far side, their defenders were also staying tight with them. Marty Gallant was split between his matchup and Claire Trope. He was able to maybe limit an immediate throw to somebody in the middle of the field, but Claire Trope was unmarked on the break side. She was able to get a quick continuation from Rafi Hayes, and the defenders on Canada never recovered.
They didn't recover, and you can see the consequences of that because it's Team USA 7, it is Canada 6. We're at the World Games 2025 in Chengdu. It's mixed ultimate flying disc. It is the gold medal game, the last of an incredible 5 days here in wonderful Chengdu. We're going to take a break with the teams. When we come back, all the second half action here in magnificent Chengdu. Stay with us. And welcome back to the Chengdu Sports University here in Chengdu, China. You join us for the second half of the World Games 2025 Chengdu Mixed Ultimate Flying Disc Gold Medal game. We're into the second half, just about to start. As you can see from the graphic, it's USA 7, Canada 6. Alongside me is Robin Fennig, and Robin, they've had a little bit of time to think about things. Canada not going away, USA maybe with a slight edge at this stage. Thoughts?
Yeah, you know, Canada's offense has been so clean so far. The O-line for Canada's had 2 turns, and that is almost more than they've had this entire tournament up to this point. You know, losing Brittany Dos Santos in that at the end of the final pool play game was obviously just a massive loss for their offensive attack. But, you know, in their semifinals game, Dos Santos was averaging 12 touches per game and about 175 meters of positive offensive production. And in the semifinal game, Kimura, Kurahashi, Beaudry, Wedge, and Jacobson spread out those 12 touches, covering almost exactly what Dos Santos' offensive contribution is. And I thought that because no one was really pushing too hard, it allowed Jacobson, who had the best matchup, to kind of cook a little bit more on offense. Today, it feels maybe like Jacobson's pushing a little bit too much, having 2, I would say, pretty bad turnovers that, you know, one of them could have been negated by taking an injury when they hurt their ankle making a catch against Kayla Helton on the near sideline. But I do think that, you know, if you're Canada, you're happy that you're on serve, you were able to get those 2 breaks back. And the United States, overall, I like some of their offensive adjustments. Choosing to put Marquez Brownlee downfield to attack has opened up some of those under touches to Rafi Hayes, whose throws are so dialed right now, leading the field with 4 assists. And I think that this is the team that we saw come out against Japan. We're still not quite as clean as the US was in that first opening game, but I think the offensive movement looks better, it looks cleaner, folks are more isolated in space. So let's see if these teams can kind of ramp up minor adjustments, increase the intensity just a little bit, and capitalize on these break opportunities.
Yeah, we had a nice little interval there as well with Claire Chastain and a couple of the other Americans, Grant Lindsay, one of them, and I think Michael Ling getting into a little bit of a dance routine, impromptu. There's a recap of the weather situation here in Chengdu at the moment. As you can see, it's 30 degrees, humidity is 70%, and that breeze just swirling around. It's up, it's down, and it could be a little bit of a factor here late. We've got 40 minutes left on the clock. It's Team USA 7, it's Canada 6, and it's going to be Team USA to get things underway here with Molly Wedge. Got the disc in hand, and she goes long with a big pull, and here comes the Canadian O. But that's just going wide.
I'm interested by the decision for Team Canada to come out in a vertical stack where Lauren Kimura is setting the stack. The United States has been very effective when they've been allowed to poach on women matching defenders or their matchups downfield. And so this is an interesting choice.
So here is Edmonds then, the Canadian, looking for some options, and there's a big sprint on down the front. A very big sprint here, and Canada come away with an absolute classic. Gallant slams that disc away, Robin.
Well, it makes a lot more sense now that we got to see the pole play. Marty Gallant started in the backfield, looking to field the pole to Thomas Edmonds. When Edmonds gets to center the disc, Gallant streaks up the line at the same time as Henry Ng's matchup cuts under on the opposite side. Gallant had no help defense. You could see Auger Sama comes in. Henry Ng's not there. Michael Ng tries to do his best after he poached off of Gallant, but you know what? Too many steps with a thrower like Thomas Edmonds, who simply does not miss. That is an amazing pull play.
So, Canada score, return the disc. Team USA will come at them with their offensive team. Big pull by Dion. Brownlee with the disc. inside to Thompson. Brownlee. Thompson. Round the corner, Chastain. Down the line, Trope. Chastain available inside. She goes there. Round the corner, Thompson. Brownlee trying to break. He's got the Canadian captain all over him at the moment. Brownlee can't go anywhere. Kosher comes back to assist. Hayes looking for options. Chastain eludes her. The grip just eludes her. Chastain sees it float. Here comes Canada then. It's 7 apiece.
You could see that Claire Chastain checked over her shoulder to see that Mark Lloyd was approaching rapidly as she tried to make the catch. I think that bit of pressure was just enough to disrupt the play.
Here comes Canada, nicely round the corner. Dion has been figuring lately. 2 Canadians getting up close. Kurahashi is there. Trying to offer some sort of a defense at the moment. Canada moving. Chatha around the corner. Gets there. Looking for options. Goes across the back. There is the option. Dion, who sort of started that, gets the goal. Canada responds.
Chatha, you don't want him to have a flick grip. He's the most powerful forehand thrower, I think, in these games. And you can see he gets the disc in his forehand grip, turns it upside down, and just catches the United States defenders sleeping. Flo Dion completely unguarded in that back corner. That's just visionary from Chatha.
And look at that disguise as well, as you mentioned, Robin. That sort of flick pass of his, it really went. He sold the dummy. He definitely sold the dummy to the US defenders.
You know, the whole thing was opened up by Mika Kurahashi making the decision to swing the disc. We've seen so many turnovers from other teams in that situation, trying to force it into the space right in front of her as a thrower in the end zone. She opened up the field by hitting Gatha for a big, big swing off the sideline.
So again, a roller out the side by Chatha here. Method in his madness, perhaps, because Team USA will start sideline. Perhaps that's where they want them. Finney, the captain, looking inside. Needs some support. Canada really pressing at the moment. Wedge in the face. Boy, oh boy. Fantastic here. Canada coming back big time. Wedge, the overlap, round the corner, and a put down. A big spill there by Dion. She was so secure earlier. USA resume this intriguing battle. They're trailing by 1. They've got possession back after Canada had them cold in the end zone. USA, Rafi Haynes flying downfield. They're not going there at the moment. Ingham Shaw will start motoring. Here is this run by the Americans. It's awesome. Team USA, Coulton on the end of it.
I don't know why Flo Dion tried to catch the disc with 2 hands, with kind of those like the alligator style of catch as opposed to like the pancake style. It's much easier to catch something in space when you're running full speed. But Dawn Coulton, just with pressure from a man-matching defender right on her shoulder, she hits the gas and accelerates away from Malcolm Bryson, and he doesn't have a play at the disc. Dawn Coulton is so hard to stop when she gets a deep cut going. We've seen her just put everybody now across the world on notice that she might be one of the best receivers entering her prime on the senior national team.
Well, I tell you what, the Canadians had their opportunities there, and they got to absolutely maximize them if they're going to try and beat this American team. They cannot let opportunities like that in the end zone go. So this big return. So the Canadians then will walk the disc out. It is 8 apiece here. It could not be tighter. This is the gold medal match. Defending champs, USA, Canada.
Canada in a horizontal stack looking to clear out Gallant again.
So Canada working their way down the line. Chastain all over. Has to go to Edmonds for some support. Comes across here. Canada looking for some options down the field. Steadies. Canada looking inside. And for a moment, another break here.
The thing is that Grant Lindsley's initiating that contact. You can see he comes at Gallant. Gallant has the right to at least about 12 inches of space between the defender.
Foul called. Accepted. It's coming in on 1.
Accidental interference, I guess.
Uncontested, but that's still, I don't like that play to disrupt Gallant's throwing motion.
Yes, Samar got some action down the end zone if he wants to, or toward the end zone. Canada flooding downfield at the moment. They're trying to get something happening here. They can't. USD in their faces. Coming around the corner. Beaudry onto Edmonds. And another halt.
Looked like there was some extra contact in the matchup between Anuchka Beaudry and Anna Thompson. Two folks who are very familiar with each other.
My positioning is right here, not pushing against her. I'm holding my body. Too much contact? You're not supposed to have I mean, that's just not true or anything. I'm not supposed to just get out of your way.
So the issue seems to be who's initiating the contact. That seems to be the discussion.
I'm not even moving and I have an arm in my wrist, so we are moving the back, but
Okay.
I've been understabbed.
So there's a call. There's been a foul. Accepted or contested? It's contested. Okay. Still count.
And I think that conversation illustrates that, players do have different
Okay, coming in on 1.
preferences
Thank you.
for the amount of contact they are willing to accept in a matchup. And they're not able to come to an agreement, and that's okay. The game will still play on.
Looks like some overlap there. Snyder trying to get free up in the end zone, going around the corner. Kimura holds on. Edmonds on the inside. Kimura down to one knee. Gallant. Snyder is up the back. That's where he went. And there he goes. Snyder was all over it. And Trope, worse for wear in that overhead.
Claire Trope really wincing as she comes down on that wrapped leg, that wrapped left leg. I mean, Kimura, the stall count is rising. Where does she look but to her biggest receiver, Quinn Snyder, or is that, no, sorry, that's Oje Sama. But able to read the disc as it comes up over Kocher, who can't quite read it. And it looks like Claire Trope just buckles under just a little bit of contact.
Indeed, it was Samar. My apologies.
Yeah, no, and Oje Sama he does have the right to land safely where he takes off. I didn't quite see where the contact occurred. I hope that Claire Trope is okay and that she won't be impacted for the rest of this game.
Okay, it's Canada 9, USA 8. Here comes the USA team. They now need to do something. Canada just beginning to get a little bit of a wriggle on here. Inside, Freechild. Down the line. Team USA, Groom. Finney. Options, inside they go. The ever reliable Rafi Hayes slides into acceptance. Kasher all over him at the moment. Free child, inside, Rafi Hayes. Incoming back. Rafi Hayes goes for a bit of a bolt. So too does Groom. They're moving forward, the Americans. Groom is free if they can get down to her. They're not going there at the moment. Finney looking for some options. Team USA setting themselves here. They're building up for something. Finney, the captain. Inside to Hayes. Free child. Across to Finney. Long and free. And a wonderful piece of interference after Rafi Hayes got down there deep into the end zone.
And you see, Finney is kind of in the same situation that Lauren Kimura was. Very similar field position. But here, Malcolm Bryson has the inside route and is able to beat Rafi Hayes to that space.
Here's a brilliant throw. Brilliant by the Canadians. Huge throw. Wedge.
Wow. Gagan Chatha, oh my goodness. As someone who's had to play against him for the last few years in the mixed division in the US, that guy he extends the field so far with his throws. Usually it's with a forehand, but here we get to see him step out and just rip a backhand to Molly Wedge. And for Molly Wedge to beat a closing Cami Groom and keep her feet in the sideline like that, oh my gosh. You could see how Cami closed the gap. She had probably a 20-meter disadvantage on Wedge when the disc went up. Wedge able to accelerate through the catch, keep her feet in bounds. Just incredible catch by Molly Wedge.
Yeah, the ex-GB rep swimmer, and she's certainly been a bit of a stalwart here for the team. In fact, she is co-captain, of course, with Mark Lloyd as well. I tell you what, these Canadians with their baseball caps, both forward and backwards, beginning to disturb my recognition of a couple of them. Mr. Samar got the better of me before, but the enthusiasm, I'm sure, is still there. Canada 10, USA 8, and I think the Canadians, are they beginning to believe here, Robin?
You know, and again, I think we said this in the opener here, Brendan, but you know, although the U.S. has had the best defense thus far, Canada is just right behind them this season. And I want to say that Canada's opponents, I think, were on the all-around slightly better than the teams that the Americans have faced. And so having those extra reps against the pressure, you know, from the Colombians, who I think played much better against the Canadians than they had in the other two pool games. You know, I want to say that Canada, they just look so good. And where we saw them maybe struggle in the reset space early in the first half, they've really cleaned that up. The players have made really good adjustments on the angles that they're setting up in the wind, so that those reset throws, even though they're challenged, they're still easier to hit. I like the adjustments offensively on cut shape and spacing for resets for Canada. And the U.S., right now it feels like throughout the tournament, when they've been willing to just hit that first person who had open hands in their offense, it was just clicking. We saw how clean they looked against Japan. They were so efficient, and today it feels like we've seen some handlers make choices to look off marginal reset throws, and I think that's the difference in a game like this.
And has the USA been in this position this tournament?
You know, Germany was really challenging them, and it was really just one mistake away from winning the pool. And so the U.S. has had these challenges, and in those instances could really lean on their defense to get them back in the game. But the problem is they have to score, they have to get a hold in order to get their defensive unit back on the field.
Well, let's see how the U.S. offensive team can go here. It's 10-8, Canada leads. There's 27 minutes left on the clock. Canada. Dion here goes long. This beautiful Chengdu Sports University complex hosting the last match of this ultimate mixed event. It's the gold medal showdown. Brownlee then back out nicely through the center. Cami Groom accepts that. Chastain hooking up with Brownlee. On to Thompson. Brownlee around the corner, just making some space. He's got the Canadian captain all over him, an interception. Here is the Canadian captain and they're streaming down. Shather here could unwind if he wants to, but he won't. He's restrained. Canada have got them again. Shather, he's got this massive arm on him. The Canadians are pouring into the end zone. Options, he needs them and he needs them quick. He's going down the line just. Groom all over it at the moment. This is bold. Rafi Hayes not too far away, but the Canadians again through Beaudry. Safe. Rafi Hayes right there. Shather offering options, but that's not good enough. Brownlee says thank you very much indeed. We will have that. Kosher says thank you. Rafi, do something about this, and he does, and he gives it to none other than, you guessed it, Claire Trope sitting on the end. Team USA, the big guns come out to play, Robin.
Yeah, and you can see that Claire Trope may be limping a little bit after that, but she is willing to give everything she can to get the job done here. Marquez Brownlee, seeing the stall count rising, gets in front of Mark Lloyd, intercepts that disc, rips it out of the air, and gets the offensive attack moving for the United States. Fearless throw from Rafi Hayes. I mentioned how dialed he is. That is his 5th assist. Not a single turnover from this man today. You know, in some games, he had that really nice opener, but he kind of lost a little bit of focus, I think, in some of the pool play games. But today, in the biggest of moments, he is just completely dialed on his throwing game.
What a moment, and you know, what trust in his teammate and his own talent that he could go almost the length of the field with that huge hug. Okay, Team Canada leads, however. They're up 10-9. They would like to put some more pressure here on the USA team big time. They want to come away with this. Kimura looking long herself. This is bold, very bold, and it's not going to pay off. You can't do that, I don't think, with Henry Ying hanging around.
You know, you can see on camera perhaps that the stack stopped moving. There was a pit call. Lauren Kimura had no idea that the pit call had occurred. The stall count rose, and she just tried to do the best thing she could, seeing her teammate going to the deep space. Turnover, USA.
Okay, so here comes Team USA. Freechild around the corner. Ing, Henry getting involved. Freechild again. Team USA beginning to make a move. Michael Ing now. Across field. Helton looking back. Freechild. The captain, Finney, down the line. Nice. Further down the sideline. They're making meters here. Ing is under it, but it's too far. They hand over possession to Team Canada, who lead 10-9 in period 2. 23 left on the clock, Robin.
Marty Gallant, having the Ing matchup, he's able to use his body to get the inside position and go up aggressively, forcing Ing to attack the air. That is just such smart positioning for someone with the size disadvantage.
Here they come then. Edmonds comes across to Kimura, opens himself up for availability. He'll take that, coming down. Here's his man, Ojay Samar, looking for some options. Comes across here again to Edmonds. Samar making a bit of a move down the middle of the field. Snyder. Reverse baseball, Pat.
Okay, foul accepted.
I like the adjustment by the Canadian offense to have Snyder work more of the undercut space. You know, forcing Ing's forcing him under, and so he's taking what he's given, getting yardage gains, and keeping the offense moving.
Gee, he was getting desperate there, but that was wonderful support by Kurahashi. Came back and got him out of a difficult space. I tell you what, they're throwing themselves around at the moment. That was Freechild going crazy. Here's Jacobson trying to settle things down. They do. Up the front, this is Kimura looking inside. Canada making a move. Round the corner again. Jacobson just settling down. Options inside, in the end zone if they want it. That's nice. Right on the end zone. Edmonds looking across field. Round the corner, just a little deep. And they get it. A little deep pass will do it.
Right now, we see the American defenders just throwing their bodies around, challenging every single catch. We see Don Colton there, challenging Edmonds, keeping him out of the end zone. And Edmonds, what just a cheeky push pass over the top of his mark and Michael Ing. That is a very, very brave throw.
Very bold indeed, but I guess you've got to be bold if you're going to beat this team.
Well, again, I'll continue to say it, the Canadian offense is willing to throw to people who are marginally open to keep their offense moving. They're not looking off folks who are just, centimeters ahead of their matchup. They see hands that are open, they see their teammates attacking space, and they're just putting it. They're trusting that they're going to come down with the disc.
Shatha then gets the pull long. It just skips out of bounds. Brownlee watches it. Anna Thompson will bring it into play. So Thompson then goes to Brownlee. Canadian captain looking around the corner. This is clever by the Americans. Brownlee not getting over the advantage line at the moment, but now they do. They've got Lindsay free, and they score handsomely.
Chatha was trailing Grant Lindsley pretty early in that cut, and then the margin just grew. I love that Chatha didn't necessarily look back to see the trajectory. When he heard that the disc was up, he hit the accelerator to try to close the gap and then adjust his line to try to catch up. Lindsley had the advantage the entire cut. You can see that there. But nice defense by Chatha. I mean, yes, he got beat deep, but he did try to make an adjustment. You can't give that much separation to Grant Lindsley. He's been doing a great job of switching seamlessly between the backfield and attacking downfield with his legs.
The crowd getting involved here. They know they're in for some excitement. There's 18 minutes left on the clock. There's only a goal difference between the defending champions and their arch rivals, Canada. Here comes Team USA through Halton. Long pull. Canada lead 11-10. And here they come one more time. And I tell you what, if they could score here, it's going to put a real amount of pressure on this US defense. Kimura inside, been very solid all day. Comes inside. Just holding on. And wow, desperation stuff by Team USA, but Kimura just holds on again. Edmonds, the glue here at the moment. Oje Semar looking for some action. Back again to Edmonds. Nice work around the outside. USA Jacobson settles as she does, looking at options. There's a lot happening on the inside. Canada going heavy into the end zone now. Lloyd looking at some options as well. Around the corner, that's nice. Canada setting something up here. They reckon there's interference. And this is Oje Samar reckons he was fouled there. Ing disputing it, Robin.
Yeah, I think there are two simultaneous calls. Don Colton called a pick on Anuchka Beaudry, and Ing calling a foul on Oje Sama in the reset space.
Kurahashi has the disc.
Okay.
Right here.
I did not have a clear position because I looked at the line. So, are we clear on the resolution
I think
here?
we're shoulder to shoulder. If you have to bring your both hands to get to the same level as me, then mean.
I would say that this is.
Can we
like
clarify?
I disagree, but okay.
Okay.
Is this something that you're living with? Okay.
Upshot is Kurahashi, threatening this end zone, goes around the corner. It's good enough for Jacobson, settles nicely at the moment. Back to Kurahashi. There's 5 Canadians in the end zone if they want to go there, but once again, Kimura is an option. And that is a fumble that she will rue. Kimura puts it down. Here comes Team USA then. They're not going to want too many more invitations than that. Helton goes long, up to Groom. Groom looking inside. Freechild to Captain Finney. And this is long and very long. And when you go long and you've got Mr. Ing underneath the Frisbee, you suddenly tie things up at 11 apiece.
Yeah, when Kayla Helton touched the disc earlier in that possession, Henry Ing was just trying to take Ojai Sama to the house. We get to see another look at that missed catch, which Finney turns into immediate transition offense. Finds Kayla Helton for the second time in the point. Henry Ing has steps deep. Kayla Helton with just a little bit of edge and pace on that forehand, so that Ojai Sama cannot make an adjustment. If that disc had been flat, he maybe could have caught up and challenged Michael Ing in the air, but what a great throw by Helton. Emphatic head spike from Henry Ing. And we're all tied up, but I want to remind folks, if you didn't tune into the beginning of the game, Canada is still up 1 break.
So that's the situation, and there's 14 minutes and 54 seconds left on the clock. It's 11 apiece at the moment, Robin, and I reckon such is the quality of this gold medal showdown here at the World Games 2025 in Chengdu, that this is going to take all sorts of twists and turns before we decide our gold medalist.
Absolutely. You know, right now, I feel like Raffi Hayes, Kayla Helton, and Claire Trope combined with Henry Ing, they are just on another level of focus and execution right now. The United States needs to figure out how to keep them on the field and feed them the disc.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a pretty potent player with a disc in hand at the moment as well. Claire Trope will get them started. The Canadian offensive side is going to come up and have a crack. We're getting into the final desperate moments of this gold medal showdown, and what an epic finale it's been. Absolutely brilliant. Claire Trope then. Paul comes down. Canada on the move. Edmonds again. Brownlee in his face. Looking around to Jacobson perhaps. No, there's an interception. And it's amazing that Groom has got the intercept there. Thompson now with the disc. It's the turnover the Canadians didn't want. Thompson looking for some options, goes inside, goes to Trope. Goes wide, got a steady here, Team USA. Jacobson trying to get involved in the action, doesn't. Chastain instead, hands on hips, wondering what's going on.
Is it accepted, contested?
A foul off disc called by Anushka Beaudry and Claire Chastain brings it back to Anna Thompson.
Thompson then, down the line to Chastain, round the corner. Team USA looking good. They're beginning to swarm into the end zone. This is Thompson going wide, and that is really, really nice. Cami Groom.
And zoom, Cami Groom strikes again with a run-through block. The United States defensive set there stifled the Canadian offense. They couldn't get anything initiated. Groom steps into the lane, gets the block, and rewarded with the goal on this just incredible around break throw by Anna Thompson. You can see Edmonds closing in to help Mika Kurahashi. You know, really that space is not on Mika to defend. That is the break side. I do like every time that Anna Thompson steps out to deliver those low around break throws, just what mobility, what balance, and then just the wrist snap to get the pace so that it gets out in front of Cami, but without too much speed. A lot of rotation on the disc, but not too much velocity. Just a really nice, technically executed throw.
It's 12-11 here, USA. They're on the verge of an impressive victory.
Yep, and we are on serve, so Canada has the opportunity here to put the disc in for a hold and force Universe point. That would be epic.
So here comes Canada. They've got to do something here. Coming down the line. Canada down one at the moment. Going long, looking for options on the inside. Shatha. Options forward. And again, they just pull it up for the moment.
Canada started in a vertical stack set play off the pull. I think their offense looks so smooth in a vertical stack.
Beaudry moving down the end zone. He goes through, picks up Edmonds just. Canada swarming into the end zone now. Only Chatter offering some relief, but instead he goes across to Wedge. Shatter. Edmonds trying to make some space around the corner. He's there. Edmonds wants Shatter to move. Wedge is there offering some assistance as well. And the intercept by Lindsley. Team USA. And the man that's offered the interception has gone streaking downfield. Ing now in control. Here comes Team USA. Across to Coulton.
What's it called? Was it an injury?
And it looks like Mark Lloyd calling an injury. Malcolm Bryson will take the field, replacing Team Canada's captain.
So the veteran captain had all that ACL problems, took a time off the circuit, came back for this event. USA 12, Canada 11. USA on the attack, and they're beginning to assert themselves in the midfield. A big in catch, and this looks incredible, but it's swatted away. There's a second bite, and Canada come down with it. Sensational end zone play here in the gold medal showdown. Absolutely amazing by this man, Ojay Samar, the play of his life, and here they come with a desperate move, and up they come in again, another spoil, but is it too much? Freechild involved, and Bryson. End-to-end play, Robin.
As soon as Ojay Samad caught the block off of that Mac from Florence Dion, you could see he had one thing on his mind, and that was getting the disc down to his teammate to score. You can see that
What's it called?
Dylan does provide some contact, but
there's an injury though. There's been an injury though.
Malcolm Bryson retracting the foul call.
Okay, so there seems to be an injury. Wondering who's coming off.
We have the right players on the field.
It looks like Groom is coming on as a replacement.
1, 2, 3.
So USA get possession of the disc. It's 12-11. They'd love to close it out here. Freechild. Ing. Back to the captain, Finney. Nice work. And gratefully accepted by Freechild. Cami Groom. Freechild again has made some good space. Ing indicating that he wants some action. Finney can't quite get to him at the moment. Ing saying he wanted something, but that just clatters into the turf from Finney. So Canada then have another opportunity to come back and have a crack at them. It's end-for-end stuff here. Bryson Shather, what can he do? Pops it over the top, looking good. Canada setting up, Shather offering some support. Not getting over the advantage line at the moment. Could go around the corner, does go around the corner. Canada, Shather again making some more options. Needs some support. Count is on. Canada holding on here at the moment. Roger Samar, Shather. Samar, an option inside, no. Back here to Canada. Looking cross, bootstraps. Wedges here, over the top, Chatter with a big leap, and Wedge, the co-captain, delivers what could be one of the most important goals that this man has pulled down, Robin.
Wow, if you would have told me going into this tournament that the U.S. Canada would be in the gold medal match and it would come down to universe, and this was the way that Canada got there, I would have told you, Brendan, I don't believe you. I would have thought that maybe Australia would get in the gold medal game again. You know, maybe the U.S. would have an easier cruise to the finals, but I think Canada has looked like maybe the best coach team here in terms of how they've executed to this point. This game, they have been thrown so many challenges by the United States defensively, and they've been able to answer back time and time again. After getting broken twice, they get their hold after 3 possessions. But what a treat to be here with you in the booth today, Brendan. This game has surely delivered everything.
It has, and for the uninitiated, the universe point means it's sudden death now. Next to score wins.
Yes, and it does not get bigger than this. Canada playing for their first win against the U.S. in 24 years. They've been undefeated since 2001 in this matchup, the U.S. for everything.
So US on the offense, no mistakes now. They do not want any mistakes, the defending champs. Gold medal action here at the World Games 2025 in Chengdu. This wonderful sport bidding for Olympic recognition. Rafi Hayes been so secure all day. Thompson, Brownlee now going down the line. Team USA looking for some options on the inside. Is this the coup de grace? Is this the moment? And is it the player of the moment? It is Trope. It is USA. It is gold medal. It's universe time, and it's a gold medal Team USA, Robin.
And honestly, the United States having Anna Thompson deliver the game-winning assist to Claire Trope, the future of American Ultimate is bright. I think the United States has been, you know, the biggest story is how old their team is, and the fact that 2 of their youngest and brightest stars delivered the gold medal in the biggest of moments, Brendan. We get to see the elation of the American team side by side, the heartache of the Canadians who were in control for so much of that game.
But it was a brilliant game of ultimate. What a testament to this wonderful sport as well, Robin. It had it all. It had the ultimate point. It had the 2 best teams in the world going absolutely hard out against each other for this last, what was it, 90-odd minutes. It's sensational stuff. Team USA, the defending champs, with just enough in the tank, and it is Trope at the end that delivers that coup de grace, that delivers Team USA that gold medal. But it's about the team, and it's about the plucky Canadians as well. Goodness gracious me, have you seen anything like that before?
We've had some really close world championships, but the World Games has not been this close in the gold medal match for over a decade. the United States has just been so dominant, and I think this year we've seen that gap close across the board, but still the United States, the depth and that defensive gritty mindset was able to help them overcome even when their backs were against the wall. We went into half on serve. Canada came out and got 2 breaks at the beginning of the half. The United States, backs against the wall, down by 1, get 2 consecutive breaks. Canada answers back to force Universe. Wow.
And just look at the contrast of the two teams here. The tears of despair. The young Canadian team, Kurahashi, just weeping in the background as she falls into the arms of her teammates. It's just tragic for this team that has just done so much. Jacobson there as well. Kimura, all of them. And what a display the Canadians put on. They were bronze medalists last time, but just not quite enough to shake this extraordinary winning streak that this World Championship team can assert. And when the pedal came down to the medal, they were there. They delivered it, and they've come away with the gold medal.
You know, it's hard not to just feel for the Canadians. They performed just at such a high degree this entire tournament.
And Dion there, you can see a picture of her still in tears, just wiping the tears of desperation out of her eyes. But this charismatic coach the Team USA have as well, not flappable.
No, the coaching staff of the U.S., you know, Maddie Sang has been in these moments, and he's been able to bring together so many of our national teams to represent the United States at the highest level. Even just getting the opportunity to attend a tryout is the peak of so many folks' Frisbee careers. The amount of energy and tension that goes into bringing this group of 14 individuals together from disparate clubs across the country together to unite as one team. All of these players are the best 1 or 2 players on their teams. And here they have to learn how to create space and give space to other people. And that really is the superpower of this American coaching squad.
Look at the elation on the American team. And you can see in the background, Mark Lloyd, the Canadian captain, still embracing his team just behind the Americans. There is so much despair and passion in that little huddle over the back there. As you can see, Kurahashi just walking away for the moment. And that's where it ends. The mixed ultimate flying disc competition has ended in this sudden death playoff. The Universe point is Canada going down to the defending champs, the United States. This extraordinary winning sequence of theirs continues. It's 13-12. The World Games 2025 Chengdu has delivered big time, and this sport has certainly served notice that it wants some greater recognition. Who knows, that might be Olympic recognition.
And the teams right now just waiting to receive their medals. The United States just hugging in elation. We get to see the final standings of this division of flying disc at the World Games 2025. The United States beating Canada on Universe point to take gold. France overcoming Germany for the bronze in a European showdown, in the first medal that Europe has gotten in the World Games. They've made it to the semifinals before, starting in year 1 with Team Sweden, but they were able to bring home a gold for Europe.
And look at the Australians, if you would there, Robin. I mean, they came good late. They were showing signs in their first game of